Hello, everybody. There's a pet in this game that, frankly, is incredibly cool, and I barely see anything being done with it. It's the Old Mouse. The Old Mouse is a start of turn summon a toy pet, and there are quite a few toy pets in the game, but this pet has like 8, I think, unique toys. That all do. I mean, they all give stats, but they all give stats in a different way. The intended way is like, oh, you just, you have as many possible conditions met as possible. Like, you just, that's an incredible team of 2 fish. But you mainly just use it to, get stats when it lands on something like buy, three friends bought, 3 friends sold. You just fulfill whatever condition you have. However, in this run we do something a little bit different. You'll see I have a Tsuchinoko on board. That's kind of weird. What's that about? And we're buffing a duck for tempo as usual. Just buffing a cell pet. But I didn't end up going elk in this run before you yell at me. I didn't go elk. Hello, Jesus is alive forever. But you'll see what the plan is pretty quickly. You might not know exactly what it is, but you'll see at some point. I just buy this apple. I'm continuing to buff the Tsuchinoko, so it's clearly staying. Interesting. I wonder what that could be about. This guy's double hair, and it copies absolutely nothing. So we get a draw. And okay, we take some levels. There's the Old Mouse. And we get a skunk too. Why not? Let's sell the duck. Let's get health on the skunk and the Old Mouse. And we're continuing to buff the skunk. It's just always a good unit to keep around. It's never gonna do any harm. We're able to draw again against Inks to Go. Thanks to Sea Urchin. And we get a second Sea Urchin, thanks to this seaweed. I'm freeze rolling this. I kind of wanted to look for something specific, but I did slightly misplay this bit. Currently this is on Glass Shoes, which is one that just happens in battle. Even if you don't have any setup for it, this is 3 friends faint. You're getting some stats out of this, which is nice. You'll see that here. After these 3 faints, we get some extra stats on Skeleton Dog and on Skunk. We don't end up keeping Skeleton Dog, but that's okay. Aha! Here's the thing we want. The Red Cape. Friend jumped, break, and give all friends permanent 1/1. Now, this is usually a condition that's, like, pretty hard. It's easy to meet and hard to meet at the same time. You need to have something in your pack that allows something to jump. In this case, we have the Tsuchinoko. But you only need one thing to jump. And you don't spend any gold on it, it happens in battle, and it's permanent. So we sell out of the Old Mouse. Because we don't have the Old Mouse on board, we're no longer getting this cycle through of toys. I kind of, like, bought the Stonefish, so I don't really need it. Which gives me a bit less gold to roll for the thing I'm looking for. But we still have a turn before the toy breaks. We win this fight against Crazy Casey. And I find level 2 Skunk. There's this Fairy Dust also. Interesting that I'm freezing that. What could that be for? I'm rolling quite a lot here. We pick up the Flying Squirrel. So now the idea is, with a bunch of Fairy Dust on the team, we break the Red Cape, and we resummon it, and we break it, and we resummon it, and we break it, and we resummon it, and you get the idea. But our entire board is just going to scale off of that. We're winning a lot, also. We can't stop winning. But okay. the red cape comes back because of the flying squirrel. We get a Highland cow. And I decide, you know what, let's just throw fairy dust on the skunk. Honestly, could have thrown it on the Highland cow first. That's on me. But watch what happens now. As we face offline goodbye. I hope this person's doing well wherever they are. So, we get the Tsuchinoko jumping. This text is blocking it, but the Tsuchinoko jumped once. And we buff the whole team. It kills the red cape, we bring it back. And then, after this dies, we get, after it dies, it's gotta die quicker to show off the thing. The skunk jumps to the front, and then everything gets stats again. That's the idea. Already, this is like incredibly strong scaling. It's weird because it's like the amount of scaling you get with a team like this, I would argue, is kind of cringe. I would expect to see this amount of scaling on Try Hard Tuesdays. But the route to get here was kind of interesting because it's like a 1 in 8 chance to get this specific toy, and you build your pack around it, and you, well, not fully build your pack around it, but you build a team around it at the very least. Where here I just have like nothing but fairy dust. I have a chameleon. Now watch what happens here. This is kind of funny. So, chameleon, normally it reads that it copies the toy ability as whatever level it is until the end of turn. Now, this ability says, friend jumped, break and give all friends permanent +1/+1. And the chameleon also has a bit of text that reads, break abilities will activate on feint instead. Which doesn't necessarily imply the opposite, but in this case that is what's happening. When something, or when it would break due to an ability, it also feints. So what happens is, after we get the skunk and the Highland cow and whatever abilities, we get stats from the red cape, and then we get double stats. We get double stats from just that one jump, and then the chameleon just up and dies out of nowhere. Which is an interaction, I'll be honest, I didn't know about. I don't experiment with the toy mechanic all that much. I did not expect the chameleon to just up and die like that. So now we have a 4 squad. Which I guess could be kind of interesting, maybe, if you can set that up, but it doesn't seem very practical. And let's play the rest of this battle out right now. I'll be honest, I had opponent names off for this run, and I expected this to be Vulture Guy. But it in fact isn't Vulture Guy, it's just a different guy running Vulture. Unless Vulture Guy's changed his name and I don't know about it. But regardless, the red cape is back. This is like a lot of stats on very premium units. Like, we have a level 3 skunk now. We're buffing a Highland cow, and we've got this many stats on them already. That's pretty unreal. I buy this other chameleon, because it will also die. I'm not putting equipment on anything, because I want to find, there it is, Puma. So the difference with Puma and Chameleon here is that Puma will live for every iteration of the red cape triggering. Chameleon will only live for 1. So if I have Puma at the back, if all of these had fairy dust on them, then they could all jump and they could all, like, all of the red cape triggers would get, like, duplicated by the Puma. But is this team with a carrot behemoth? Impeccable gameplay, and a level 2 mole. The level 2, the chocolate cake mole is kind of cool. I respect it. There weren't really any cringe teams that although there was a cringe team that I faced, but we'll show that off later. Puma comes in. I'll move it to the back, and I find half level on Highland Cow. Half level on Puma, and another fairy dust. The whole team's getting fairy dust, FYI. This guy has level 2 Komodo and a bunch of level 2 tier 6s. That's kind of fun. I respect Komodo gameplay. But look at this. Look at now with Puma how many stats we get. It's also, like, beyond it being incredibly strong, it's also just satisfying. Look at that. Look at that, like, shower of stats. That's way more satisfying than, like, getting that from Axolotl. And that's not even on the basis that Axolotl is cringe. We almost got enough stats to break through Melon. Almost. But instead we don't. But it's fine, because the Octo isn't doing much. Everything's kind of small with no equipment. And so we're able to clean up. And I mean, this is just fun. This is just fun. I know that it's, like, kind of scaling that you don't have to think about all that much, but the setup is interesting. And it's sometimes just fun to see a shower of stats. Okay, let me be me. Anyway, we have the level 2 Puma here. I'll be honest, the only regret I have about this run is that I won too quickly. There's a ghost kitten there. Jar of cheese balls? That's incredible. So watch again. We get a bunch of stats from Red Cape. We have another fairy dust now. But the fleet gets rid of it! This is messed up. Don't you hate it when a team eliminates your combo by having one ailment? Anyway, the Red Cape goes off again. We get obliterated by this bunny. But I think we're still completely fine. There we go. The important part about this build is to not have the flying squirrel have fairy dust on it, or at the very least, if you put fairy dust on it, make sure it jumps last. Because if the flying squirrel jumps at any point, then the Red Cape will lose its ability to come back. But anyway, here's the Puma. I find a fairy dust in the last possible shop slot. I still have 4 lives at this point. I'm wanting to win. I'm wanting to win less so that I can, like, keep this run going and keep scaling, because this is a fun way to scale. I know what you are. Double level 2 Axolotl, triple radish. You got a salmon of knowledge. Newsflash, it's triggering before my Highland Cow and giving me more trumpets. 38 trumpets is pretty good. Clownfish gives stats, but we have so many stats with the Red Cape. And we bring it back. Our sea urchin dies. But newsflash, here comes the skunk jumping in front. Here comes a billion more stats in battle. Listen, man, I don't know what to tell you. We're straight up getting more stats than you. God, it feels good to finally have the Axolotl team be beaten out by scaling itself. By just a cooler form of scaling. Anyway, Red Cape triggers again. And we resummon it. And, you know, we did win too quickly. We still have a 38-38 in the back. But we do get one final Red Cape trigger as the Puma jumps to the front. And we get an extra 3-3 on both it and the Flying Squirrel. And that's the run. I think it's kind of cool to just, like, make a pack entirely around a specific old mouse toy and then repeatedly trigger that old mouse toy, because if you get a run going, it's surprisingly strong. It's not consistent in the slightest, because you have to just high roll the specific toy you want, but it's fun. And, you know, once you get the scaling, you get boards like this on turn 14. Like, this on turn 14 is pretty damn unethical. And this is not using, like, an infinite or shop scaling or anything. This is lioness-less. But, that was about it for me. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.